All right, today we're going to learn how to paint this style I call Dazzling Drips. All right, the question of the day is, how did Islamic calligraphy develop? All right, let's run through the colors. Van Dyke Brown, Quin Red, Quin Orange, Red Oxide, Phthalo Green, Sap Green, Ultramarine Blue, Cobalt Blue, Quin Blue, Turquoise, Cobalt Teal, Primary Yellow, Titanium White, Mars Black. All right, today we're going to do a painting in a style I call Dazzling Drips. All right, we just got done with that initial dark purple. We got the blue in here, kind of a cobalt blue. We got the, what is that, light blue? I don't know what it is. That's this kind of green, teal, that's the color. So we got teal, purple, and this blue. The purple's a mix of Quin and red. Blues those make a really great purple that I like. Got the gesso in there. We've kind of scraped it through, washed it. So now we're gonna add the next layer. I think what I'm gonna do here is, because there is red and purple, I'm going to use some red layers and pink layers and kind of tone that over, and then we'll see that kind of coming back and forth, and that'll add a nice contrast before we do the next layer. We just laid in that brown, the brown layer on top of the purple. I think we're gonna bring back the purple. Not sure if I kind of like this blends, but we'll see. We add the purple and see what that happens on the next layer. I'm gonna try to do a lot lighter, so hopefully we get a lot more better combinations here between the colors. The question was about Islamic calligraphy. So one of the key tenets of the Quran, and from Muhammad obviously, is they didn't want to use pictorial representation, because under the Romans, which were just before that, when it kind of corroded, it got very corrupt, very erotic, and so they saw that as kind of one of the reasons why the Roman Empire fell almost, was this decadent, over-the-top realism, naked statues everywhere. And Christianity did this similarly in the beginning, kind of abstracted art, but Islam took it a step further and just said, like, forget it. Anything figurative is going to be a temptation to either worship saints like the Catholics did with the Christian church of the time. And so they just thought that it was a complete corruption of religion, and you want to focus really on the God, you know, praying 4 times a day. So you could only really do flowers, animals, and calligraphy. So calligraphy really got highly developed under Islam. And there's 2 really main key styles: Kufic, which is the early version, which is kind of long, stylized, kind of upright, you would say. Then there was Nazca, probably mispronouncing that. That's more of the curvy, cursive version. But there's many different layers that are geometric and a lot of different styles, and they developed over several centuries because of this limitation on doing the human figure. Recently, there's actually been Islamic graffiti, which is kind of really cool, because they're kind of, you know, evolving Islamic calligraphy even further into kind of an art form, whereas before it was kind of tied almost strictly to quotes from the Quran, and now it's becoming more open to, you know, wider representation, more abstracted versions. So that's kind of the real quick summary of Islamic calligraphy. All right, we just finished the painting. Let's take a closer look. So we have that dark purple holding the corners. It's kind of chopping through that layers. And the cobalt blue is really dominating. That turquoise, you're not seeing it as much as when I painted it on there. A little bit of the white coming through, but not that clear. It's kind of lightening up a little bit. Not quite as strong as in other paintings. It has a really nice drip pattern coming through here. It's kind of this nice murky colors where it has the browns fighting the purples, fighting the greens. Overall, this has kind of a really dark kind of underground to the ocean, kind of like when you dive into a murky pond feel to it. So that's really a nice aspect. It has more of a circular, it's not necessarily that pure line going across. It has kind of a fisheye look to it, which I kind of like. It gives kind of a more center to the painting. I could have added a little bit more darkness on the corners to enhance that, but I thought, you know, it's pretty dark as is. I think it's good enough, but you could go a little darker to make that center pop even more. But I think we're just gonna leave it as is. I think it's pretty good. Hopefully you guys like it. Give me a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe below. And check out my Patreon account for the full version of this painting. Thanks for watching, guys.